Is 40 too old to be a Formula One driver? Wolff previously revealed he hadn't granted Hamilton a long-term Mercedes contract because of his shelf life. So, are Ferrari taking a wild guess by getting Hamilton in at this age? Lewis Hamilton finally chipped in on the matter, and his response might shock some. Should Ferrari be worried? Hamilton's ability to join Ferrari for the 2025 season and beyond is due in part to Mercedes committing only to a solid one-year contract for the 2024 season, with an option for a second. The seven-time world champion ultimately used his contract's leave clause, with his move to Maranello announced on February 1st, 2024. Mercedes replaced him with 18-year-old wonderkid Andrea Kimi Antonelli, which according to Wolff was due to age. There's a reason why we only signed a 1+1 year contract, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff stated in the book, Inside Mercedes F1, Life in the Fast Lane, published last November. We're in a sport where cognitive sharpness is extremely important, and I believe everyone has a shelf life, so I need to look at the next generation. Wolff later stated that such remarks had been taken a little bit out of context. Hamilton was unconcerned about his 12-year-old boss's opinion, but he still strongly opposed it. "Don't ever compare me to anybody else," he told Time magazine. "I'm the first and only black driver that's ever been in this sport. I'm built different. I've been through a lot. I've had my own journey. You can't compare me to another 40-year-old past or present Formula One driver in history. Because they are not like me. I'm hungry, driven, don't have a wife and kids. I'm focused on one thing, and that's winning. That's my number. First priority." F1 drivers in their 40s are rare and have had minimal success in the last 40 years, demonstrating the magnitude of the challenge. There have only been 8 of them, with 3 in the 21st century. Nigel Mansell was the lone pole sitter and race winner, winning the 1994 Australian Grand Prix at the age of 41. However, Michael Schumacher was 43 when he topped qualifying at the 2012 Monaco GP, losing pole position due to a grid penalty received in the previous round. As it happens, Hamilton is not even the oldest driver on the grid right now, with 43-year-old Fernando Alonso still leading Aston Martin's effort, but with teammate Lance Stroll not widely regarded as a reliable benchmark, determining whether the Spaniard's aging has resulted in any loss of ability is somewhat difficult. At pre-season testing in Bahrain, Ferrari team principal Frédéric Vasseur praised Hamilton's motivation, noting the veteran showed the same excitement as youngsters. After more than a decade with the same team, the Briton's feeling revitalized on a new team is hardly surprising. Despite being statistically the most successful driver in Formula One, Hamilton may have something to show in 2025. After being signed by Ferrari a year ago, the Mercedes driver had possibly his most challenging season with the team. His race pace remained impressive, but F1's pole position record holder only outqualified George Russell 6 times in 30 sessions, including sprint qualifying, which was by far his worst record. The 2025 season promises to be as competitive as the previous one, if not more so, with McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes set to be the frontrunners. "I know exactly where the North Star is," Hamilton explained. "I know where I need to go. I know how to get there. It's far, and it's going to be tough to get there, but I know I've got all the ingredients, all the people, an amazing team around me. So it's how much you want it, and I can't express to you how much I want it. And if the English racer doesn't make it this year, he'll try again. What I can tell you is, retirement is nowhere on my radar. I could be here until I'm 50, who knows?" This is mostly due to the new dynamic at Ferrari, as Hamilton has described it as refreshing to drive a car with different requirements, as has been the case at Ferrari thus far. He left Mercedes after 12 seasons and 6 of his 7 world championships to join the Scuderia, and, after testing, he has gained a better understanding of the car beneath him. The 2025 season will be Hamilton's first without Mercedes power, having begun his Formula One career with a Mercedes-powered McLaren before joining the Silver Arrows in 2013. After spending so much time with the Mercedes team, the 7-time world champion stated that he is taking the opportunity to work with Ferrari's engineers to see how they approach working with their power unit. As for the car to drive, Hamilton detailed some of the differences he has had to adjust to since his shift, which he has appreciated so far. When asked about his experience of driving a Ferrari so far, he replied, "Well, firstly, they're very well built and massively different in characteristics. But rather than just jump into a different car and having it exactly the same, it's been refreshing to have something different, to learn different ways in which you have to drive the car, different requirements to how you approach corners. The engine has a different tone, a different feel, different drivability, and I've been driving Mercedes for so long, which was such a great power unit, and it's great to see that Ferrari also have a great power unit. And it's something that I'm, again, spending time with the engineers from the engine department and learning of the processes they take for reliability and power. That's a process in itself, but so far, it's been really great." Hamilton completed 162 laps for Ferrari in Bahrain during preseason testing ahead of his Scuderia debut at Albert Park on Sunday, March 16th. And although things have gone well up until now, it's not real racing. And to be fair, leaving Mercedes was never going to be easy for Lewis Hamilton. After 12 years with the team, he's not only saying goodbye to old friends and routines, but also to a Mercedes power unit that has taken him through 356 races. And this might come back to hurt him this season. Bernie Collins, a former Aston Martin strategist and Sky Sports F1 pundit, spoke on the significance of this shift, revealing that she believes it will be one of his toughest problems during his debut season with Ferrari. While we as fans don't notice much of a change from home, each power unit is, as expected, tremendously different. "I think it's going to be a really interesting one to watch," Collins said, of Hamilton's switch to Ferrari. "I think the challenge of Lewis stepping into a Ferrari shouldn't be underestimated. He's never driven a Ferrari engine, so real simple things like how the engine works, how the modes work, how the harvesting works, how the deployment works, they're all different. In addition to the significant changes, minor adjustments such as the steering wheel arrangement contribute to the learning curve. We hear different terminology on the radio. Where he instinctively pushes the buttons is going to be different. So I think there's going to be big differences in the car that's going to be a challenge for Lewis." The acclaimed analyst stays optimistic about Hamilton as he joins Charles Leclerc in red. "He's going to enjoy it, embrace it," she said. "I think Lewis really embraces a challenge. He does his best work when he's being pushed quite hard. But, again, it's going to be this big shift in culture. Ferrari operate quite differently, I think. Different personnel, engineers. Can Lewis take the step in qualifying to make sure he's there on race day to get the right decisions come his way? He's been part of a team like Mercedes have totally worked around a team for such a long time, and it's suddenly not his team anymore. I am excited to see how it pans out." Fortunately for Hamilton, the present power unit has only 1 year left until the 2026 regulation change takes effect. With the electric motor providing 50% of the power, each driver will have a totally distinct driving experience. And by then, Hamilton will be familiar with Ferrari's processes, leaving nothing in his way of success at Ferrari. So, will he make it happen this year or in 2026? Will he prove the doubters wrong? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.